Hello, everybody. My name is Zala Britzel, and I am officially launching episode number 13 of Global Picnic. My name is Zala Britzel. I am a digital marketer and coach based in Slovenia, and one of the founders and one of the members of the Global Picnic that will be sharing their thoughts with you here today. We are still waiting for our members, other members, or we call them musketeers, to join us here today to share some of their thoughts about how we're adapting to changes in our lives, in our businesses, and overall from our past experience or in general. So how agile we are in accepting and embracing the change that we are facing. While we're still waiting for my fellow global picnickers to come in. Hello, Varun.
Hello, Jala. Only I can see. Hope others will join soon.
Excellent. I can see you. I can hear you. So, Varun, thank you for joining.
Thank you, Jala. Thank you for.
So while we're still waiting for Dagmar and Alberto and Amalia to join, I would just quickly like to tell you a few words about the Global Picnic and why actually we're doing Hangouts on Air live tonight and what the basic idea behind the Global Picnic is. So Global Picnic was founded by the four of the musketeers of Global Picnic. And we met each other on one of the Twitter chats. We were regular, we still are regular on the Twitter Smarter chat. And since we're all invested and working in digital and social media marketing, we wanted to create a community which is dedicated to creating change, which is dedicated to empower other fellow members or empower other people through our stories and through the work that we do. We decided to call it the Global Picnic. The idea came from one of our members, Alberto, who said that during the picnics, people get together, they talk, they relax, they share ideas, and from that ideas, other interesting and inspiring things spur from that moment, and that in the era of digital connectedness, where we ourselves are digital citizens 2.0, it is the perfect opportunity to connect, to share, and to embrace not just ourselves but also others. And we also call it, as Dagmar says, who's also already joined and is also one of the co-founders of Global Picnic. We're here to share and we're here to create heart-to-heart connections and heart-to-heart conversations. So I hope it spurs some ideas also for you tonight, and we'll be more than happy to hear also your ideas, your suggestions, and feel free to reach out to us. Hey, Dagmar.
Hi, you too.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Excellent. I suggest that we just invite and say hello also to Amalia, who I think has just arrived. Hola, Amalia.
Hola.
Hola.
¿Me oyes?
Yes. Sí, te oigo. I hear you. Really happy to have you. while perhaps we just wait for Alberto, our friend from Colombia, to join, I will just shortly like to ask my fellow co-hosts and my friends to slowly introduce themselves, which I already did in the beginning of this segment. So Varun, can we start with you?
Sure, thank you, Jala, for having us on this first of our Google Hangout show. As the Jala show is why we moved this because the blob is dead, or let's say having a rest in the code factory, where the coders are working on a better version of the blob. So hi, I am Varun from India, working in the social media marketing and content marketing industry. I meet all these awesome guys on a Twitter chat, as the Jala mentioned, and we have this awesome group called the Global Picnic. And we every week we come here, join here, and share whatever we think and whatever we have gained the experience due to our entrepreneurship in our life. And we are just here to simply chat, not showing or throwing some expert or geeky type of things to you. We are just here for sharing our thoughts with you, all of you. So welcome all of you here, and over to Dagmar.
Thank you, Varun. I just was listening, very excited about what you shared. Hi, everybody. I'm Dagmar. I'm an international SEO consultant, coach, and strategist. And I love Global Picnic because what we do online is global. So it only makes sense to get together and put our skills and abilities and resources, use them to make the world a better place and create a bigger impact. And that's really how I see what we want to do in Global Picnic. We want to share, we want to learn, we want to grow together.
Thank you, Dagmar. Hola, Amalia. A big hello to Spain. So a few words from your side.
Hello, my name is Amalia Gomez. I'm from Colombia, but I'm living in Spain since 1999. I am working in e-commerce and in like a CEO and business digital consulting, and I am so happy to work with you and to talk about digital marketing and our global picnic, because it rocks.
Thank you.
Yes, it
It works. It actually works. The sound is working.
And
our mics are working.
I think the
And
camera settings are not working because the video is not coming all of us simultaneously.
yeah. So yes,
Okay.
bear with us. The video will probably be jumping, but hopefully you can hear our thoughts and our ideas, which is what we want to share from our hearts to your hearts. Today the topic for us is quite meaningful. The topic is how agile are we adapting to change? And it kind of spurs from the fact that the Global Picnic kicked off on the live stream platform, which was called Blab. We did our shows there for 12 consecutive weeks. And now, unfortunately, as a lot of things in life happen, Blab is gone. So we are, as in every business, not forced but challenged to find new solutions and to compare our ideas, share our ideas, and sort of find a new platform to connect with all of you, and also to try and share our past experiences, our past past work, and our ideas with you. So we said, okay, let's just roll with it. Let's go with the flow, and let's do a hangout on air tonight. So we would like to kick off today's show by asking how important do you think, and coming from your backgrounds, coming from your businesses, your past lives, is being agile or flexible or bendable when seeing changes happen or when embracing change? What would you say, friends? Varun.
Yeah, I would like to start that having working in the digital marketing industry or the social media marketing industry, we need to be very agile to adapt the changes. As you all might remember that we were using the the Yahoo chat rooms earlier, way back in the 2000, and then there was the Orkut from the Google, the previous version of Facebook. And when the Orkut announced that they will close the door, the people were crying, but they were adapted to change to accept the Facebook. Then Facebook actually grows very big, and 1.71 billion people actually using the Facebook right now on the monthly basis throughout the world. But apart from Facebook, the people are also using the Twitter, Instagram, or Snapchat. The Snapchat is kind of buzz. So we are in this kind of industry where we are ready to adapt the change. As we are, you mentioned, Jala, that we started our live streaming show on the blog, and we do it for the consecutively 12 episodes. But the sad thing is that the blog died actually yesterday, day before yesterday, and we are here on the Hangout on air. But there will be other news that Hangout on air will be closed by 12th September, and it will be merged to the YouTube live. Am I really fast, Amalia? Okay, I will try to slow down.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so as we also know that Hangout will also be died on 12th September, and there will be the YouTube live. Will be uh, the Google will promote the YouTube live more on its platform. So we are very agile to change, and we need to, because we can't be dependent on any platform, because platform will come, grow, and die. We need to focus on our community, our niche market, and our connections, so that we can be very agile to adapt any kind of change and to be relevant in this digital world.
Yes. I definitely agree, and also you were nodding and wanted also to share your thoughts, Dagmar. I saw it before.
Thank you. How I see it, change is part of our life and our business, right? So it's not really adapting to change. It's more we are change. Like our life can change every second. And for us, we all five work in the digital world where only by changing, we're learning and we're growing. So change is something positive, and so more we get prepared for it in advance, and so more we can program ourselves for the change, so more we loving the change, and so more we looking forward to the change, because every change normally makes something better. That's my 2 cents.
I like it. I like it a lot. I can relate to what both of you said. I think one of my inherent beliefs also is and is not entirely related only to the work I do, or let's say to the digital sphere, is that change is the only constant. And I think it was I think it was in my first regular job that I did right after college. When I got my first job, I had an excellent mentor, which was also my boss. and he was the one who said actually that in business, whatever you do, kind of you know, it's kind of a change is the only constant, and that if you know, if you try to resist it, or if you try to defy it, or if you try to not embrace it, it only, you know, it will happen, it happens, and it will only be more difficult for you personally or business wise to conduct your business or go ahead. So I think that, as you mentioned, Dagmar, from how I also perceive change, is that as long as the mind is open, as long as the mindset you have is flexible and gears towards embracing what is new and not being afraid of it or defying it, I think that a lot of the challenges can come much easier. Can come much easier to you.
Yeah, and you know what? The other thing is change, right? Change. We want to welcome change as something we do proactive. It should not be reactive. And if we act to it, it's already too late. So really proactive, like what Varun said, we know there will be a change. We know the platform we are on, we will not be there forever and ever and ever. So if we know this, it's good for us to have solutions, different solutions.
Yeah.
And like what he said, not putting all the eggs in one basket. So really embracing the change and not adapting to the change.
Yeah.
I would like to add something that if we will not be for the change, something will come and disrupt our market. As the classic example which I gave every time, like the auto companies were not ready for the change, and the Uber, Ola, and some taxi sharing app came and disrupted the whole market. So we need to be ready for the change and ready for the disruption so that we can adapt and we can grow.
Yeah. Even though we a lot of times in our global picnics, let's say, mention examples or mention the companies, I think it's very worthwhile, because it's also in these changeable times, which can be from one day to another, or which can be let's say changing one trend for another or anticipating another trend. It's also very good to study some of the do's or don'ts, or study some of the good or bad examples, and maybe, you know, find some principles behind it, or find what worked or what didn't work for somebody who perhaps might be struggling with let's say embracing change, or I don't know, refocusing or taking a different path than it was anticipated before. I see that Alberto came in and went out. So Amalia, what are your thoughts? Are we embracing? Are we aligning? What is your experience?
I think the most important thing in the global picnic is to maintain the relationship, because the platform, I don't know is the name,
platform
could be changed, but if we have our thoughts, we can share it. And we have to be like a bamboo plant. You have to be strong, but we have to be flexible, because that more you change, more you learn, I think. Because if you want to work in a digital world, every day is different, and many things could be changed. But you have to be proactive and learn the different technologies and the different types of connections, I think.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you all, what is your, let's say, what are your insights or what is your view on the following? Yes, the digital marketing space or the digital connected world is very unpredictable. It's from one day to another. But as we all know, we, for example, we work on projects which can be also time-based or which are not from one day to another. So what are your thoughts, for example? We kind of, let's say, plan out or map out a strategy. We say, okay, we will do this and that. This will be, for example, this work. This will be this campaign. How do we react, or not say react, but what do we do, for example? What are the key steps, let's say, the most important steps or one step that we do when a change occurs? What are your thoughts?
I think I first, for example, plan an objective. Then I have to write the strategies and the media. But the tactics could be changed. It's like the tools. You can use, you can plan your tools, but maybe your tools could be changed. But if you write a strong objective, if you make a line, you can follow the plan. And the problems or the different, I don't know how to say, the different points can be born in your way. You can fix it, because if you make a fierce objective or a principal objective, you can change your tactics.
Yeah. Yes, like they say, nothing is etched in stone. So it is, as the world is fluid, or as also our projects are fluid and our mindset is fluid. So is what you just mentioned, Amalia. Also, we need to be as fluid and as adaptable and see, okay, if this platform doesn't work, I'll change it for this, or if this content didn't work for the XYZ reasons, I need to think about how to come across this, or how maybe to get the feedback from my community or from my target audience, or maybe via some other channel. What about you two? What are your thoughts?
Go ahead, Varun.
Okay. Actually, I am not able to find the right word. What Amalia said, I will like to add upon on that we need to actually create the situation on a project-to-project basis. If we are doing a project for a small business located in a small community, or we are doing a big project for a big multinational or big brand on the pan-country basis, or the bigger geographic location basis. So we need to actually create the situation that what will be the situation in the positive feeling or negative feeling. We need to take ready for the trolls also. We need to follow up for the if our communication goes disastrous way, we need to anticipate what will be the response of our niche market, or the target market, or even not so related market. We need to create a strategy for that, so that we can be ready in time to tackle all that kind of thing. Like you might say that a few days back the Australian census website was down, and the whole Australia and some other people from across the world were so furious and tweeting bad things to the Australian census website. But there was other kind of a story there, that there was some hacking and the website was down when the around almost 24 million Australians were jumping to check that website. So we need to anticipate what will be the what can happen or what will future, so that we will be better ready to adapt the change, or what say, better to disrupt the market, not disrupted by the market.
Mm-hmm.
Dagmar,
Just had to go in and out, browser challenges. Um, I
I
think
am
it's an
using the
interesting.
Hangout app. Carry,
I,
carry on.
I think it's an interesting question because for me, it's the most important. I have a process in place and I understand the system I work on, right? Because everything within the process, what tools I use, what software I use, is interchangeable. It really doesn't matter as long as I follow the process itself. So normally in the process itself, there's no change. The change is only in the elements of the process. So that's why as long as I have more options for tools or software or how I take care of these elements, then I'm good.
Mm-hmm. That's that's really interesting because I wanted to ask you, especially since I mean, since you work in the SEO field, which is kind of a really also connected with the data, you know, with data, and as partly left brainers, we all love data, and
Data?
and sometimes I just sometimes, you know, I wonder, and this is also the question that I wanted to ask, is because the digital world is really developing in an exponential pace, so we see so much development now than maybe before we've seen it in 10 years, as much as now happens in 1 year. And the focus is also very much on mobile adoption and on mobile first. But do you think that what are your thoughts? Do you think that change, for example, that the new technology and adoption of new technology kind of leverages embracing the change easily, or is it the vice versa? What are your thoughts?
So I see three different things. One is human behavior, which is changing with the years, because at the beginning we were just dumb and believed everything, and now we're much more sophisticated. And then the other thing is the medium we are using, right? Going away from the computer and the PC more to mobile. And the third thing is what I do from an SEO perspective on what I did 8 years ago. How I approach it didn't change. Like I never did black hat SEO or gray hat SEO. I never faked anything. So more limitations now coming doesn't affect me at all. So what changes is perhaps the SEO title is shorter, or you shouldn't have so many backlinks. So it's much more a technical thing, as what I believe SEO, search engine optimization, is to make it easier for the end user to find the right answer, to find the right solution, and to find what they're looking for online. So it's really what I see, the three things: human behavior, the medium we use, and then it's less tricking and much more being authentic, like doing your best, serving others by what you share online.
Yeah. Thanks. That's really interesting, because I think that I especially like what you just mentioned, the point of behavior, because when I look back at how, for example, we did marketing, or we did campaigns, let's say 10 years ago, and how we do them today. Also varies content-wise, I would say, because before it was much more of a, you know, much more, as we say, producing, giving out, being fast, being furious, being there all the time, buying as much ads as possible, buying as much as your time, and we kind of didn't really pay attention to the people's behavior or the intentions behind people's behavior. So we kind of weren't really thinking of how, for example, how people search for us, how people respond to our, let's say, actions, or how they respond to our tactics, unless we, receive the complaint, or if the traffic wasn't there, or, if something really unbelievably terrible happened. But I think that now the focus is really changing from not us as the only sole content providers, but it's like going hand in hand from the content creators to the content connectors, let's say. So we're kind of really looking at who is there, who is standing there. So we kind of it's we're putting the focus on standing in their shoes and and trying to look from their point of view in what we are producing, or what we're sharing, and how we're also engaging. What about?
Very true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, carry on.
Yeah. I just finished my sentence, so it's you or Amalia to tell me your thoughts about the connections between, let's say, the accelerating technology, much more diverse options of technology and technology-fueled world, and keeping the focus and embracing the change. What are your thoughts?
I think before we wrote in our website like a robot because we want to be in the Google results in the first page, and the people doesn't matter. It's to say something. Today the usability and the user experience is the top. You have to make a bilateral connection. You have to listen before to write. You have to write for the people, not only for the Google or Yahoo. And the technology can help you to listen, because smartphones, for example, you have the voice technology. You can search with your mobile. Before it didn't exist, and in the future, I think the way will be to listen and to connect in real time. You have to be like a reaction, a fast reaction. You can wait, because you can lose your users or your potential customers, I think.
Varun, what do you think?
Yes, I am listening.
What are your thoughts?
Yes, I want to add something different perspective what the Dagmar and Amalia said, because we working in the digital marketing industry, and that there are two big forces working in this industry, the Google and the Facebook. We can be actually disrupted by any time by the algorithm change done by these two giants, let's say. Whatever we are doing in the SEO industry, it can be wiped out in a second by an algorithm update done by Google. As you may note that Facebook has updated its news feed, or let's say the feed we saw, she actually updated 3 times in the past 20 days, and the last feed of algorithm change was done on the 11th of August. So whatever we are doing, it can be wiped out by the algorithm change done by these two giants or monster in the digital industry. So we need to anticipate the change, that what is coming and what will be the change in the next future, or let's say next few months or next few years. We need to anticipate the change to be relevant in this world. So better, what the Amalia and the Dagmar said, better is to focus on our community, not on these two platforms. Focus on the community so that they will be engaging in any form or even after any algorithm changes. We will not be affected by this kind of destruction if we will focus on our community, and we will be in the good shape to adapt the change.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Where,
I just
yes,
want
carry
to
on,
say
Dagmar.
something to Varun. I'm pretty sure, Varun, you meant it in this way. So if there's an algorithm change and I put all my SEO efforts in pleasing this one algorithm, right, then yeah, I can be wiped out in a second as soon as it changes. But if I understand how search engine optimization really works, like from a mindset perspective, not from a tactic perspective, and I create like semantic content, right, which is not doesn't have only one keyword, it has a variety of keywords, synonyms, related keywords, uses search queries and things like that, then I'm independent. And I'm pretty sure that that's what you meant. So more independent I am from one change, and Facebook I have no
Yes,
clue. From one
yes,
change,
that's what
the better it is, right?
yes, that's my the important point, that you need to anticipate and you need to learn the basic psychology of what is working and what is not working. You should not dependent on the plain things which can wipe up your all of your efforts. You need
Yes.
to learn that system, and you need to be ready to anticipate what will be the change in the future so that you will be relevant all the times. That's the
Yes.
my real point which you mentioned, Dagmar. Thank you for mentioning it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, thank you both, because also from ourselves, who are not so experts in, let's say, SEO as you two, it's a bit easier now. It's a bit easier now to understand, because I remember that a long time ago it was enough to have a really nice, flashy, responsive design website, maybe with a lot of pictures and maybe with a killer content, but the backbones, or the background as I call it, wasn't there. So basically people tried to put themselves on the map, but kind of did not have, let's say, the right tools nor the right knowledge to do so. So thank you.
I actually want to add something, simple example. As we are talking about the SEO and the website loading speed, the
Mm-hmm.
many e-commerce websites around the world are actually lagging behind the Amazon. The simple reason is that the Amazon has a very simple website which is very fast loading. Even if you have using the 2G data, 2G internet data, which is very slow. But even on that data, the Amazon app and the Amazon website will load on your mobile or on your PC. But the other e-commerce website or app on the mobile will not load on the 2G data. That's the biggest difference that Amazon has created in the market, because they have anticipated the change and they have learned what is working in the what say the internet industry. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why they are so big, in not only due to their pricing or their product, but because of this simple technique that they made their website very simple, so that it can load even on the slowest data available in the world. So that's making them the rule the internet world. That's
Well, actually, I'd like to add here something, Varun, which in case I would say of Amazon, or I would also say Alibaba, which is kind of a, let's say, the global e-commerce provider, if you
powerhouse.
ask me. But it kind of refers to what we were also discussing before, and what I think that Dagmar also pointed pointed out at some point, less is more. And when they were also doing studies of Amazon sites, it's not that it is really less info, but it is kind of the point that they're organized in a way that you don't make people wonder and guess what to click next or where to find something, but it's basically kind of a just pops up in your face, and it's very intuitive. So you know what to do, you know where to click, and you don't have a lot of options. So basically, it's before, when we had full, rich content, everything sliding here, there, everywhere, a lot of content just booming on a website, it was actually really different. But coming from the, let's say, e-commerce side, it's also like there's been a lot of mentions about this before. It's I think that mobile first or mobile optimized customer experience actually is not just translating what we do on desktop and then we just replicate this on mobile, but it's actually kind of a reinventing the mobile experience. So it is different in how we do something or how we search and how we act on mobile itself. I just wanted to mention regarding this also together with what we kind of didn't mention yet, but would also like your opinion. But it's the touching point of storytelling. I think that now also with the how we can disrupt something, how we can also disrupt a trend or disrupt a movement or disrupt whatever we do, does not actually, in my own opinion, just relate to, let's say, for example, the search engines or the pure analytics, I would say, but it's also, how we also tell stories, how we use the principles of storytelling. So, to start to create a story which can also build on momentums in a customer's journey, and how we can also, just keep them with us while we, for example, tell the stories of our brand, of our values, of our missions, of our whys, as we mentioned a lot of times before, is to deliver some value to them and in the end to sell them something, or to sell them our services or our products, and also create trust. What are your thoughts?
I think this is the point of the social media. Mm-hmm. It's like a complement, because if you have an e-commerce, Dagmar can tell me her idea. But when you have an e-commerce, the person only want to finish the sale. Want to start and want to buy and finish and pay and go. Mm-hmm. But if you have a blog, or if you have a complement like your social media, with your Facebook, with your YouTube channel, you can use the storytelling. But if you are in your chart, in your resume, mm-hmm. of the sale, you can't tell the people my story of because the people don't want it in this moment. I think it's my thought. Mm-hmm. You can complement with the social media, but in e-commerce you have a moment. You have to put in order. For example, in one of our e-commerce, we have one page, mm-hmm. to buy. Mm-hmm. We resume in one page. You have not to make a scroll. You have all in one page. Mm-hmm. You have the payment, you have the address, and you have to finish, and it's all. And it's working so good. But so we have the complement in social media. It's my thought, in my experience.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
Yes, Dagmar, go ahead.
Yeah. Lately, I didn't build any big web stores. In my old company, I built big ones like with thousands of products. And what I saw, it's an interesting mix between the technical SEO, right? So the product keyword and the features and everything, and the storytelling in the testimonials or the storytelling in the reviews. What we experience, but I'm pretty sure it's depending on the industry, but what we experience is people trust reviews and people trust testimonials, and that's why they will buy a product. So when they find the product, it doesn't mean immediately they buy it because they found it. And then the other thing is, normally the e-commerce, it's depending on shopping engines, where the authority sites or the topic related sites is depending on the global search. So the search behavior is very different depending on the online visitor and what they're looking for, right? But what I just thought, what you said with the storytelling, what I experienced in the old days when we did the snippets, right? So where you have the SEO title and the meta description, was all about putting in the keyword and making it attractive. Now is you have to tell a story in the meta description so that people really click on it, because if not, everything sounds so similar, because everybody went through the headline training, so you should have numbers in it, or you should have a how-to in it. So everything sounds the same, especially on the first page of Google. So more you can stand out and share your story in the meta description, why somebody should click on it, and that they really can see there's a human being behind it. So more I see, you will be successful in the customer journey to convert them into subscription or a sale or a lead.
Yeah.
I think it's a pain, or it depends of the profile of your customer. Because I think it's so important to have like a second description with the storytelling. It's a very good idea. And a blog in your website, inside the website. I think it's so useful to put reviews or to write opinions, but it depends of the product and the customer's profile. I think so. I don't know.
Well, I can tell, I mean, I can share my personal experience that it is simply, it's not Amazon, it's not strictly Amazon, but for example, I have, it is an Amazon related product, okay, but I have, for example, Kindle reader, and just exactly as you mentioned, Dagmar, and maybe also you, Amalia, it's, you know, whatever the suggestions is, I look at the reviews there are, I look how many reviews were made, I look at the stars, especially for, let's say, content-related literature or digital marketing literature, and it's basically, you know, and then all the recommendations that I get for further literature are kind of based on how my behavior with the literature that interests me or that I've bought is based upon. So I think I think that's a really good example, and it is you know, I don't have to click a lot, I don't have to search a lot, I don't have to scroll a lot, but it's all there. It's all the relevant info I need there, and you know, if the ratings or if if the stars are there and people are saying, yes, this is a worthwhile, you know, to buy, to use, to learn from, I'm much more inclined to say, yeah, okay, I'll spend this and this much amount of money for this thing. And if not, and if the reviews are really bad, I most probably, or in 90% of cases, won't.
Okay, I have a question. Not want to share something on it because all what have the relevant things all you three have said. Now, my question is that if the reviews or the testimonial which we seen on the e-commerce website is really relevant, and the Dagmar must know that 70 to 80% reviews are fake, done on the like did by the SEO so-called consultants or the SEO interns or the digital marketing interns doing for the what say the e-commerce stores. They are writing the fake reviews. It is done by the on the behalf of the product or the by the rival company. That 70 to 80% reviews are fake. Is it actually relevant for the customers which are going or doing the shopping via reviews or the testimonials? I would like to hear your thoughts, especially from Dagmar.
Okay, so Google locals, right? All my local businesses. So more reviews you have, so more better your ratings are, so higher you will be ranked for local search, which has, in this case, nothing to do with e-commerce. So my experience is, so more a review is written from a human perspective, no matter if it's a bot review or somebody really left a review. The better it is from a visibility perspective, and that's what I personally experience. And it's my experience. So more trust somebody creates for this business or for this product. So less somebody pays for a paid review, so cheaper they are, so more mistrust they create. So I see it in both ways. Like if you really want to have a great review and you pay somebody for it, you better spend a lot of money that they really pay a great review or write a great review.
Well, yeah, I mean, I am with you. I'm right with you on that, Dagmar, also from the content creation point of view or from the storytelling, which I hope that we all, not just here, but for also for all the people that are listening and sharing with us, storytelling is not like standing up in a library or at an event and telling stories. That is also creative storytelling. It's show storytelling, but business storytelling is using the same principles and the same approach, but it's basically also establishing at the first point, it's establishing the trust, and it's through stories it's kind of easier to connect with also with your audience. And regarding the question that you had, Varun, it's in my opinion or in my experience, I think that people are becoming very, very digital savvier than maybe we were before, or maybe also our generations were at, when beginning to use the internet and so on. A lot of people, when they're searching for something or when they're looking for something, they will not only just check one web page, they will do cross checks, they will search for these people on forums, on other platforms, they will check what other reviews were made, they will, for example, wait with the purchase also for a few months because they're checking these things, and they're collecting info and they're getting educated. That's why I think that people who are really, really now very digital savvy will not just be fooled by, for example, a written testimonial or a really spin text that somebody prepared, but they will really educate themselves and are able to find a provider or a service that gives them trust, that actually gives them the feeling that their needs are met. So I'm not just getting a product or service XYZ and it's all finished there. So we're also talking about retargeting and all these things, and the basic nurture of any kind of relationship. So you're not kind of just forgotten after you've made a purchase or not made a purchase, but you know, we have you in our minds all the time, and we also target you all the time via social media, via marketing, via email marketing, and so on. This is my thoughts.
Yeah. Would you like to add something, Amalia?
No. Totally clear.
Before we, because we have about 4 minutes left, I would just like to ask you something which we also hear a lot in digital marketing world. We talk about test, fail, test, fail, test, fail, and this is how we get things right. This is how we get things done, and this is also how we can align our content much better to our audience. What are your thoughts about this? Do you agree? Do you disagree? How do you perceive this yourself?
I like tweak.
I would like.
You like what?
I like tweak because I only test and analyze to tweak this thing. So I really like. I know many people who test and test and test and analyze and analyze and analyze, but if you never come to the point where you execute and tweak this thing, like it doesn't matter. But you what just said, there is no difference between small businesses online or we digital marketers are online. I'm pretty sure a lot of small businesses or startups listen to this video, right? Because we all live online, no matter if it's your job like ours, digital marketers, or if you build your business.
Yeah.
So it's more you understand how the online world works, which is now very similar to the offline world. It's all about empathy, being a human, the better. So yeah, I like tweaking.
Okay. What about you, Varun?
I would like to actually add what Dagmar said. Before tweaking, you need to know what should be the tweak. If you are writing a sentence or you're writing a 10-letter word, 10-letter sentence, you need to know which word you need to be tweaked in that sentence. So for tweaking, you need to understand your audience. What is clicking with them and what is not clicking with them. What is in their sync with their thoughts or what is in not sync with their thoughts. So you need to actually think like them. What they demand and what's the behavior of search, behavior of consumption, and behavior of not finding the right word. But what's the psychological behavior? The psychological behavior of consumption and sharing. If we can understand and anticipate what is their consumption behavior, we can actually go in sync with them and can create the thing which we want to share with them.
Okay. What about your thoughts, Amalia?
I think it's so important to read, but to write is so important too. And we have to share your thoughts and use the social media. It's so important to share another thoughts, because in the digital world you can know so interesting people and so interesting topics and different points of view. And I think it's like a daily growth. Like if you drink water, you grow. If you learn of the digital world, you grow in your experience and in your business. I think it's so important, the bilateral connections with the people and with the different medias. I think Twitter. It's a very good platform to use like a good way to learn and to teach too.
Yeah, yeah. And Dagmar, thanks for your point. Exactly. I think that no matter if you are a person consuming digital content or creating digital content, in the end, we're all equal. We can't say us or them or so on. We're all. I think that we all have also same experience. We also like the same user interfaces, the same good or bad customer experience. So yeah, I think that is really important also to point out, and this is also the point. And the idea behind doing this Global Picnic chats. Any final thoughts, my fellow Global Picnickers?
We miss Alberto.
Okay. We miss Alberto. So Alberto, you are highly missed today on the Global Picnic episode 13, which is not on Friday the 13th. But hope to have you with us next time, and also maybe to share some insights also from the video production or live video point of view that also constitute a big part of social media and digital interactions.
Yeah, especially content marketing and repurposing, what Alberto does.
Yeah, exactly. So, Alberto, next time you'll be on the spot.
Repurposing of our content, what we are producing, and how we can better repurpose it to better search traffic or better monetization of our content. We need to talk on this. Sure.
Yeah, yeah. I think that this is a really good intro for our next session, which might be on Hangouts on Air or might be somewhere else. You never know. We just roll with the flow.
We go with the flow.
Yes, we go like water. We flow like water. Or for everybody who joined us live or will be watching the replay, we thank you very much for taking the time in your busy day, because time is actually one of the most precious things that we have in life, and should be cared for really deeply. So we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Global Picnic meets every Tuesday live at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central European Time, and 10:30 in the evening for our Indian friends who join us there. We will let you know. Please reach out to us via any platform, Google Picnic, or to any of us. We can all be found on the Twitter. And thank you very much for listening. And we will see you hopefully next time. Thank you very much for joining.
Cheers, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.